Oh my God!
Close to nature, working with Mother Earth, farmers live at the heart of places holding unbelievable secrets. Shocking remains from the past, mysterious living beings, otherworldly creatures, utterly bizarre things. Farm fields of our planet are crowded with various uncanny objects. Collecting from every corner of the world, here are some of the weirdest things discovered by farmers outside their farm fields. Prehistoric skeleton. Throwing his flashlight on the dark ground, one night, a farmer was worriedly searching for his lost cattle. Suddenly, he felt a body on the ground and threw the light in hopes to get traces of his cattle, but ended up finding a completely unknown creature. However, observing the creature closely, many of its features resembled some prehistoric life being, with a predatory jaw, long hind limbs, and nails instead of hooves. The unknown skeleton was estimated to be a meter long. The skeleton of the mysterious animal was handed over to the research team, who were planning to use some of the undecayed tissues to conduct a DNA test, after which it was decided to move to its final resting place in a museum. Four-horned cow. The survival of mutated or deformed living beings might look impossible, but every now and then, an animal pops out to reject this theory. One such oddity was discovered a few years back, when a strange calf with several facial deformities was born on a farm in Kenya, and not just survived, but grew into an adult bull. Other than having 3 eyes and a twisted face, the bull has 4 horns, which give it an even weirder look. Yet despite all of these deformities, the bull was doing quite well. Snake bones. While clearing out his poultry farm somewhere in Florida, a farmer stumbled upon some skeletal structures lying inside the bird netting. Unclear at first, but later upon investigation, the several-foot-long ribcage was identified as the remains of snakes. According to the farmer, these bones might belong to a pair of rat snakes, which entered his farm a few months back, and then mysteriously disappeared. It is unclear how they ended up, but their intact and almost complete skeletal structure indicated that it was a natural death. Harvesting alligator. With so many encounters of alligators and farmers, sometimes popping out of nowhere and sometimes climbing the fence to reach the field, this has to be the most terrifying one. What happened was that a farmer was harvesting and was clearly busy doing his work, when suddenly his machine hit something stronger, and that's when a massive alligator came out of the water with a wheel in its mouth and made the man reverse. As frustrated already, no good could be expected from this mighty animal. Two-headed calf. A few years back in Pakistan, a farmer was left astonished after his buffalo gave birth to conjoined twins that were unable to stand because of a single body. Joined with each other from their hindquarters, they were sharing a pair of hind legs with 2 tails and 2 heads. Surprisingly, they have a single stomach for both bodies, which means if one calf eats, it will satisfy the hunger of both. This 2-headed calf was believed to be bad luck for the village. However, the experts termed this birth due to some genetic mutation and a condition that occurs when an embryo fails to split and develops into 2 individuals, leaving the babies conjoined. Thousands-year-old skull. Buried under a village in Georgia, this skull only was enough to astound the scientists, as they believed that it belonged to the ancient people and could reveal more about evolution. The skull was found in the year 2013 hidden in some rocks. It was said to be some 1.8 million years old, and was also considered one of the most perfect pre-human skulls, which could alter the understanding of human evolution. With a comparatively larger size of the head, it signaled towards the variation present in the sizes of our ancestors. Thus, determined to know more, researchers carefully continue the examination of the prehistoric skull. Woolly mammoth baby. Hoping to find some gold, the miner instead came across a baby mammoth's carcass. which, when brought to the researchers, was called one of the most well-preserved mammoth carcasses in the region. It was found in Canada by a gold miner who, while heading towards the mine, stumbled upon a huge piece of rock, and that's when he discovered the naturally preserved animal. At first assuming that it was some sort of buffalo, it was when he noticed the tiny tusk that he realized it was actually an ancient mammoth, which is believed to have gone extinct. Therefore, handing it over to researchers, they later stated that not just old, but the mammoth belonged to the Ice Age and was actually 30,000 years old. Leopard stuck in a pot. Sitting with an aluminum pot stuck around its head, here's an unfortunate leopard who was spotted by an Indian farmer in 2015. Out for a routine walk in his fields, he noticed a big cat wandering in a very bizarre situation. He immediately called out to the other villagers, who were also quite afraid to help the wild cat, which might be thirsty and tired from drinking water from the pot. But it got stuck, as the vessel had a narrow opening, and now was suffocating. Fortunately, a wildlife team was informed who managed to tranquilize the animal, and after an effort of 6 hours, the leopard was freed from the pot and released back into the wild. Human-like species. Laying undisturbed for so long and recovered in the year 2016, the human-like bones left archaeologists stunned, as not only one, but the remains of 16 different persons were recovered from a single place, which was later called the Dark Chamber of the Dead by researchers. Discovered in South Africa, the bones were retrieved when one of the cavers only had a glimpse of the peeking bone from the limestone, therefore sending in a special team due to the narrowed opening of the cave. They unearthed the remaining resting bones. When examined by the researchers, they were declared as a new human-like species and were called Homo naledi, which means star, a name given after the cave in which they were found. Mystery animal. Either this is some extraterrestrial being or some sort of hybrid animal. This mystery creature was found a few years back when it was hiding under a porch somewhere in Pennsylvania. Scared and depressed, with pointed ears and a snouted mouth, the creature had some features resembling a coyote, but other features were marking it as a member of the dog family, which was bent out of shape due to hunger and depression. The unknown creature was rescued and moved to an animal shelter, where different DNA tests were conducted to determine the exact species of the animal. But no name could have been given to the animal, and it's still unidentified. Cattle mutilation. Left with no eyes, no ears, and apparently no fluid left in the body. When one of the cows went missing, this farmer in Colorado began the search, and that's when he came across the body of the poor animal. Though the expiration of animals is usual in a cow ranch, the way that was left shook the man to its core. After immediately calling the sheriff, the investigation started, though the police seemed to have found nothing so far. And gradually, it started happening to different animals on various farms. Though the local police called it the work of an animal, the same pattern of the wound was what terrified the people. Mice plague. An infinite number of small rodents running all around you, from crawling out into the land to hiding inside the storage. This catastrophic situation was witnessed a few years back in Australia, when millions of rodents swarmed farms and homes in the state, leaving the farmers to deal with the worst mouse plague. The severe mice infestation plagued Australia and continued to wreak havoc by engulfing the entire town in pungent odors and farms reeling from crop losses, with rodents devouring grain harvests and contaminating them with droppings. Brought out by drought and bushfires, counting them was like trying to count up the stars in the sky. With the shops running out of traps and rodenticides, people are still battling to get rid of these attackers. Maggoted carcass. When you live near farmland, there's no telling what you may or may not come across. A farmer on the outskirts of his land noticed a strange body lying on the ground that looked like the body of some biped animal covered in some sort of yellowish sheet. blanketing the whole animal, that upon a closer look turned out to be millions of tiny, creepy maggots feeding on the carcass of a bear which may have died a few days earlier, and now was providing an ideal feeding ground to these tiny, crawling larvae. Hanging goat. While tending his field in Greece, a farmer was stunned to discover a goat swinging several feet above the ground. The goat was found hanging by its horns from an electrical wire near a hill, when a group of local men stepped up to free it. By using a combination of ladders and ropes, they climbed onto a vehicle and pushed the goat farther up the hill along the wire. After struggling for a few minutes, the goat was rescued and didn't have any injury. It is unclear how the goat wound up in its precarious position, but since goats are good climbers, it's likely it ended up here after losing its feet on the tree and moving further down the line with its horns wrapping around the power line. Massive gator. Coming across one of the largest crocodiles, already scared of the mighty animal, the people had to deal with the deadly mood swings of the croc when it attempted to escape the trap. This is Lolo, the longest and also the largest saltwater crocodile captured in Philippines, which is blamed to have taken numerous lives of villagers near where it lived. Therefore, coming on the call of the people, wildlife workers, after a hectic and definitely risky mission of capturing the deadly crocodile, at last succeeded in capturing it. Thus, frustrated on the people, the croc made several attempts to get rid of the ropes which were wrapped around its body, but at last was taken away from the villagers. Wolf freed from trap. Walking through the field and coming across a wolf trapped in a fence, the guys were stunned after watching the wolf's condition and thought they might have to cut its leg till they came up with another idea, and that was to cut the fence. With the wolf's leg badly trapped in the fence, it was no easy task to do. Therefore, using a plier and cautiously separating the both, the man set the wolf free from its misery. Look at the rescued wolf sprinting towards the woods from where it has come. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Diamond ring. Assuming that she has lost it and even replacing it with a cheaper but resembling one to keep the loss a secret, the woman was left stunned when her diamond ring, which she had lost a decade ago, was recovered by her daughter-in-law. And where finding the ring should have made the woman happier, she was a bit more shocked, as the ring was found along a carrot that was grown through the wide hole. Recalling that it must have happened while she was weeding, and thought she wouldn't ever see it again until today when it was happily recovered. Space junk. Making shocking discoveries and unveiling the past mysteries, one thing farmers can never expect to find on their land is something which belongs to the outer world, by which I mean space. But recently, an Australian farmer came across charred space debris in his land. Shocked and excited at the same time, the confused farmer contacted the astrophysicist who came to the farm to inspect the jutting space debris, and stated that it was actually from the SpaceX mission and must have fallen down during re-entry. Though usually space debris falls into the ocean, there have been many recent discoveries of it being found on land, which is concerning for the scientists, as it may come to harm people. Skeleton mystery. 6 skeletons found face down and with their hands tied were troubling archaeologists in Spain. Retrieving the skeletons from meters height, the researchers believe that it was not a normal burial ground, as there was no woman present there. And it was not the usual funerary practice either, because of the strange marks on their limbs, indicating that stones were thrown at them. There were 6 men all appearing to be part of the same group. But who were they? And why were they buried in such a brutal way? It was something not known till today. Ancient human skeleton. While digging a pond in his backyard to raise the trout's level, the guy came across something incredibly astonishing. As a few meters down laid the remains of a Native American person. At first not realizing what he had unearthed, the 14-year-old teen contacted Utah's archaeological team. Immediately responding to the call, it was when they reached there and examined the bones, archaeologists revealed that it was no ordinary man. But this teenager accidentally unearthed the remains of a 1,000-year-old person. Therefore, trying to dig some more meters down, the team is hopeful that they would excavate the bones and even some ancient artifacts. Dinosaur eggs. Digging the area of Madhya Pradesh, the archaeologists made a startling discovery when they dug up 92 nests of dinosaurs. The nests were found close together, but where the previously found eggs also had the fossils of dino parents around them. These ones, being the eggs of sauropods, were found alone, which tells that the sauropods did not sit by their eggs till they hatched and would just roam around after laying them. And while they were on the subject of the 92 eggs, one of them made an even more shocking discovery as he recovered an eggshell nested inside another egg. Unearthed for the first time, it is believed to be the only example of its kind in dinosaurs, as this usually happens in birds due to stressful circumstances during the time of birth. Cobras protecting sleeping baby. Where this might be super shocking for some of you, let me tell you one thing. It really, actually happened. The video starts with 4 cobras sitting with the baby, and it looks like they are guarding the infant while he sleeps calmly. But there's more to come, as waking up, he can be seen hugging one of the deadly snakes, with it not even trying to bite the unprotected baby. And that is what triggered the spectators, as they believe it was a setup by snake charmers, who rip the fangs of the snakes so they don't cause any trouble. While many agree on this theory, others deny it, stating that it is actually a custom in some parts of the world where they really live with the snakes. So what? Are snakes not dangerous anymore? Or was it really a show going on? Two-headed snake. As if one head was not enough to scare people off, this ferocious serpent decided to come with 2 of its heads. Found in a farmer's land in Spain, the snake was captured swallowing 2 albino rats, which added to its creepy looks. But where it happens due to a genetic mutation, many people relate the 2-headed snakes with old folktales and consider finding one a bad omen. And here, the residents of Bali were left stunned when they came across a 2-headed snake, and though a small one, it was all that was needed for wildlife enthusiasts. Deformed dog. Only a few inches tall and with only one eye present on the top of its face, this frightening dog was born in a small village in the Philippines. Making headlines due to its vicious features, the dog was considered a curse from the god in the local town. Given the name Cyclops dog because of one eye, the mutated creature had 2 tongues and no nose, which caused troubles in breathing. Though the puppy died due to these genetic mutations, the veterinary doctor, after seeing the little pup, stated that the mother must have eaten some toxins, which caused him to be born like this. Alien corpse. While some of us believe that the aliens live far from us and only occasionally visit people, there is some evidence which proves that theory wrong. One of which is this, an alien baby corpse, which was found in the town of Bolivia and hints towards the alien presence on our planet. But the thing which is even more disturbing for people was the sudden disappearance of the corpse. Hearing many UFO landings and witnessing tiny humanoid creatures running in unpopulated areas, the people reported many pieces of alien activity. But finding a dead one, that was something which really alarmed the people. But quickly coming to the scene, an investigator took the body from the locals, which resulted in the so-called mysterious disappearance. Odd creature. Found in a man's backyard in the year 2003, with its figure so tiny, estimated to only be 15 centimeters long, and a bat-like face with huge ears. This creature was considered an extraterrestrial one because of these weird characteristics. Caught in an Arizona town, when brought to investigators, they stated that even though it looks like an alien which had just landed on our planet, there could be a possibility of the tiny creature being a human, which, due to some mutations, could not be fully developed. But even after all these assumptions and taking it in custody for further research, nobody heard about the mysterious being again. Weird figure. A mutated pig? Deteriorating carcass of an unknown animal? This blob-like creature found near a farmer's land on the riverside has speculated many theories, with some calling it to be a river monster that has been found dead on the land. The sharp-clawed creature has gathered much attention, with many believing that it was actually a pig which was left on an abandoned land, but decaying on the land. The truth behind its sudden appearance can never be revealed. So let me know what you guys think of the horrifying animal. Unicorn caterpillar. On a quiet morning, a farmer was working out in his backyard when the presence of a weird creature grabbed his attention. At first, he thought it was an ordinary caterpillar, but upon getting closer to it, the caterpillar began to show some of its most striking features. The tiny, creepy creature was found with a strange, horn-like growth protruding from its head. Some suggested it was a cocoon hiding a larva inside it, while others claimed it was nothing but a mutated caterpillar with a horn-like growth, giving it a unique appearance of a unicorn caterpillar. Mystery alien being. After spending a long, tiring day on his fields in Panama, just when a farmer thought to return back, he was stuck to find a very odd creature lying on the side of a cliff. The farmer wasn't able to identify the remains of this animal, nor did it have a resemblance to any known animal or bird. With a strange, bald, pinkish body and long limbs with clawed toes, the creepy figure was found completely intact. Some believe that it might be a deceased three-toed sloth that lacked fur, while others dubbed it a mystery alien being, as even scientists were not able to identify the strange, unknown creature, and it is still unidentified. Unknown relics. This incident was reported by an agriculturalist who was out on a shore with his dog when he stumbled upon an unidentified mass of flesh and bones. Some of its bones were badly crushed, while a few were intact. The corpse was giving off a very foul smell, that even the dog refused to taste it. Some speculated it might be an animal corpse, which was dumped here and now was in a later stage of decomposition, but others thought it could be something else entirely. Ultimately, the mystery of the unknown relics is still unsolved. Unidentified animal. While removing the debris from his land, a farmer in Brazil came across a very strange animal, none of whose features resembled any known species. A freakish brown-colored, hairless body was found lifeless on a rock. With its eyes fused together, a strange trunk-like organ was protruding from its forehead. Apart from these oddities, its ears were sticking to its head, giving the creature an even more scary look. Even after investigating the animal closely, the creature was unable to be identified. At first, it was thought to be a mutated calf. However, the mysterious trunk and strange hooves were making the creature an unfamiliar life form. Two-legged goat. If you think life is hard, try being this two-legged goat who astounded a farmer after it was born on a local farm in China. The handicapped lamb was born with its missing hind legs and was thought to die shortly after its birth. But it defied all odds, as the tenacious lamb was able to stand on its own forelegs and skillfully managed to walk on just two legs just after a week of its birth. According to the local vets, the mother goat may have been injured in the abdomen, possibly during a fight, and gave birth to this handicapped lamb. But thankfully, it was able to walk despite a major disability. Cobra stuck in can. A farmer was out tending his field when he found one of nature's most fearsome creatures in an extremely distressing situation. A 4-foot-long Indian cobra got its head stuck in a discarded beer can and was found struggling for life. Watching the snake writhing in pain, helpline members were informed, who immediately started a rescue operation to remove the tin can from its head. After extending some efforts, they were able to successfully rescue the snake by cutting the tin, and later it was collected to be released into the wild. Mutant goat. Nobody knows what it is, but it's definitely not a goat. This is exactly what a farmer in the Philippines thought when a strange-looking creature emerged from his goat. A half-human, half-pig-like creature with a small, hairless body and even having a navel was born to a farmyard goat, leaving the villagers baffled as the creature was thought to be a cursed one. And also, when its two infant siblings and the mother goat died, it sparked fears that it could be the mutant devil that brought bad luck. But according to botanists, a genetic mutation inside the womb could have affected the fetus, resulting in the birth of a poorly deformed baby. Captured a few years back, here we have an image of a man squeezing out a black, shiny, stone-like object from a snake's head. At first, it might look like an ordinary stone, but let me tell you an interesting fact about it. The stone is actually a snake stone or viper stone, which is basically a part of a snake's bones. Although it is obtained from a venomous snake, this stone is considered very valuable in many countries, where it's used as folk medicine for snake bites. While in many parts of India, this black stone is dubbed the precious Nagamani and is used for protection against evil spirits and to carry out different ritual activities. Peking snakes. It's not just the rodents that you have to be on the lookout for. Hibernating snakes could also be the reason. While preparing his land for crops, a farmer stumbled upon a huge snake sheltering inside an underground hole. Thinking it to be preparing for hibernation, the farmer started to move back to avoid the danger of its deadly bite. But before he could go away, he noticed some more snakes coming out of the burrow. Agitated and alerted, peeking outside the den. These bundle of snakes must have gathered for hibernation, but suddenly came out after feeling someone approaching them. Fish March. Creeping through the dry land, these fish shocked onlookers as it was the first time they were witnessing such behavior. But what seemed extraordinary to them is quite common in the fish world, as these fish are known to survive long without water. Meet the climbing gourami, a species famous for its aggressive behavior, and another shocking characteristic, which is their survival without water, as it can easily live up to 18 hours, and in some cases, even 7 days without water, and will stay hydrated, which is the reason that climbing gouramis are often observed on the lakeside by people. Mimicking chick. Finding it sitting on a tree while he was cleaning his backyard, the guy thought he had come across a rare species of caterpillar until he uploaded the video on the internet, and people mentioned that it was not a caterpillar, but actually a chick who mimics caterpillars, another wonder of nature. Meet the cinereous mourner, really a bird which looks like a caterpillar, and does not only appear, but also crawls like a caterpillar, which is a surprising tactic of these baby birds to avoid predation during the early months of their life. Angel statue. Really? A statue? Or an actual angel that just happened to be turned into a rock? This angel-like rock formation shocked the onlookers when they spotted it in Yakutia, a small town of Russia. The wings on its back, perfectly carved shield placed right in front of the statue, the detailing of the veil, the fingers, and the overall structure of the statue looked so real that the people and even the researcher found it hard to believe that it was made by a human. The fact that it was found meters away from the residential area and with no traces of its formation being found, the statue still remains an unknown mystery. Snakeskin. Searching for a snake that entered his farm a few days back, a farmer was stunned to find something completely unbelievable. Lying on the ground and under the bushy growths, there he saw a long, rope-like object, which, upon a further, closer look, turned out to be the several-foot-long skin of a snake. Since snakes are known for regularly shedding their scaly skin for several reasons, it looks like the invader snake might have escaped after getting rid of its old skin, and must be hiding somewhere else to again slither on that farmer's land. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.